Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Now, in this video, this will be my 1000 sub special, and I know it's kind of late since I almost have 3k specials, but the reason why I haven't made it yet is because I didn't have any ideas for this video. So basically, in this video, I'll be beating the impossible bot in training mode with every single ability in the game. And I'll also be announcing my giveaway winner in this video for the Arachne weapons at the end of the video. And if you just want to know who won the giveaway, you can just skip to the end of the video if you want to. So I felt like lately my avatar has been getting a little bit old, so I might be changing it. It depends on you guys though. You can say A if you like the one on the left, or B if you like my OG one on the right. Now also, as you can see here, I might be doing the giveaway for Arachne Blade and Dual Arachne Blade for the giveaway, and I'll also be announcing the winner at the end, selecting them with a random named comic selector. Now, let's start the video now, starting with every single ability against the impossible bot. Now, this video took a really long time to make, so I'd appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe before we start. Okay, thank you. So now we'll be starting with the dash ability, and basically, as you know, this ability, basically just dashes you a little bit forward. I'm not going to be showing all the failed attempts of all the abilities, and I'll just be telling how many attempts it took total on the top left. As you can see, it says dash 5 attempts. So basically, I'll also be explaining what every ability does and how you can use it to your advantage. So basically, with this video, you can just kind of confuse your opponent. As you can see, you can just dash to the side, dash forward, go closer to them, curve it around, or just hit it normally if you're not, like, you know, my level. It's actually not that bad of an ability, but Thunder Dash is definitely better, and there's a lot more better options and abilities than Dash. But Dash is actually not too bad, and it's definitely better, can be betterly used than some people use. Because instead of running, maybe you can use it more to offense or going closer to other people, so then you can get into a clash with them like this right here. And you can confuse your opponent by turning around them to using the dash ability. Now that's all for the dash ability. Next we have Super Jump. So Super Jump was actually one of the first abilities I used after dash when I started playing Blade Ball, since I started playing it for almost a year now. Super Jump is actually a pretty good ability, and I'm pretty good at using it, so I beat it in one attempt using Super Jump. As you can see, this ability is a little more skill based, unlike some abilities like Infinity and Singularity that we'll get onto later. But basically this one, it jumps you super high, and you can just hit the ball while it's in the mid-air. And basically you see while you're in mid-air, you have to be careful and hit it a few times, which is a little hard when the ball is faster or during the standoff. But it's actually very skill based, because it's very hard to hit it when you're in the air, especially if you have to hit it multiple times while you're still in the air. But it's very good if you're a pro, actually. But obviously there's better alternatives like Infinity and whatever, Singularity, Dribble, Time Haul, etc. But however, it's definitely not a bad ability in the game, and it's probably very good actually, even if you're just starting the game compared to Dash. I'd say this ability is much better than Dash. The only reason why it's pretty good is because when you're high, the player has to look up and see where the ball is. The bot automatically is the impossible bot, so it's much better at, you know, detecting this, but a regular player, this would be very good against them. So as you can see, I just did bot with Super Jump, first try actually, which was really impressive. Next here we got Platform. So Platform is pretty mid, to be honest. It's worse than Dash, and it's the cheapest ability besides Dash in the game. So in my opinion, Platform might actually be one of the worst abilities in the game, like actually the worst. Even Super Jump is better, because Super Jump confuses more people while you're in the air, and also Platform's kind of glitchy, and sometimes you'll lag into the middle of the platform and kind of be stuck, or just fall off it and doesn't do anything. Therefore, Super Jump is probably a better option, and sometimes it's hard to see the ball while on top of the platform too. So but if you want to do a little, you know, a few more high attacks at once, Platform is not the worst ability possible. It's not like garbage, but it's definitely not recommended to be used, because, you know, it's a starter ability, and also it's really one of the worst out there for starter abilities. Now next here we have the only ability that only can be attained from Roblox. This is Phase Bypass, which was in an old cyber pack in the game, and this ability basically lets you sprint for a little bit, like 2 seconds at like a godlike speed, and then teleport you back to where you started using the ability in the first place. This ability is good to surprise people, but it's a little bit hard to use, since after you teleport back, you might misclick, especially when I was clashing there, and then came back, it, you know, confuses your timing, and you can miss the ball. Overall, I say Phase Bypass is a pretty good ability, but it's better for the regular part of the round and definitely not the standoff, especially if you're trying to clash with the Phase Bypass. And Shadow Step is better. Next here we got Invisibility, and since I can't use Invisibility during standoffs, the best way to use it is basically if the ball is going really quick and it's about to target you, you can just go into Invisibility and it will target someone else, surprising them because it doesn't have the slash effect, which really surprises people when it just suddenly changes. But you can also leave the game and this will also happen. However, Invisibility cannot be used in standoffs because that would be unfair if the person just had to clash themselves. However, for some reason, the people can clash themselves with this ability if two people, like there's only 3 people left, and 2 other people are using Invisibility while one person is not using it. But it is possible to survive this even if this happens, but I don't know if that's actually fixed by now, but it should be. Now, basically, for Invisibility, I'm just going to be using no ability to beat the Impossible Bot, which is not too hard, because some of the abilities, it's actually hard to use them into my normal play, gameplays, to add them into them, because I almost never use some of the abilities in this game. But the Invisibility is probably one of the first abilities I actually bought in the game besides Super Jump, and it was really good when they had the 50-player game mode back then where you can get UGC for them. But luckily, that was when I just started playing Blade Ball, and obviously I did not get the UGC because I sucked back then. And the closest I got to winning was 2nd place 2 times, so basically Invisibility is, I'd say it's actually a pretty good ability. A lot of people use it to this day, but Doppelganger is a better alternative, and we'll get to that one later. As you can see, I just bait it with no ability, and for some reason I actually bait this 1 attempt, but it took a lot more for a platform because it's a harder ability to use. Now here next we got Time Hole. So Time Hole actually took a lot of attempts because unlike Infinity, you actually can die while your Time Hole is up. However, and the bot isn't like a real player, so a real player would get confused and by all the flashing and, it would mix you up with the Time Hole. However, for some reason, the bot always, especially the Impossible Bot, has sensors to detect when the ball is coming, so it kind of almost always hits it, so Time Hole's actually not that good for this. Time Hole also shuts off the ability while players are inside the radius of your Time Hole. However, the thing about this is that other players, the bot doesn't have an ability, and this is kind of useless, and you can also still die while it's in the Time Hole if it comes to you too close, unlike Infinity, which makes you immune. So actually, Time Hole is maybe better. I mean, against real players, it's better than Infinity, but, most people ban it in Ranked, and then against the bot, I'd still say Infinity is better since there's no chance of you dying while it's active. Unlike Time Hole, there is a slight chance, even though it's very unlikely, but Time Hole is still not the best ability, and Infinity is definitely a better alternative if you have Infinity, which is much easier to get than Time Hole. However, both of these are pretty pay to win to get, and they're very hard to get with rarities, and however, Infinity used to be able to get through an old wheel when the game was just up and running and when Infinity first came out, but now it only comes out a few times instead of Time Hole in the battle passes, and Infinity is actually obtainable right now, but Time Hole is not. Now, as you see here, that one actually took a lot of attempts. It took 13 attempts. So here we have Thunder Dash, which is basically a better version of Dash. Unlike Dash, which takes a little bit of time while your movement is loading, Thunder Dash almost immediately teleports you, and it also has a really, really short cooldown. You can trick the other player by going back and forth to confuse their movements and timing, so you can put them into and out of a clash, and then into a clash at the same time. While during in a clash, you can also keep spinning around them by going sideways, and this will kind of confuse where you are, and they'll kind of keep changing their camera, which might mess up their thinking, and they might let go of the mouse, messing up their clash. This ability is maybe very similar to Blink, but the only difference is Thunder Dash has a lower cooldown, but Thunder Dash also has more visuals, which has a little bit of a lightning strike to it. However, Blink also, you can charge multiple at once, but it also has a longer cooldown for each charge. So I'd basically say that Thunder Dash is still probably better than Blink and Dash, and it's one of the more used abilities even to ranked players even this day. But it's definitely not the best ability in the game. Next here we got Quad Jump. Basically this ability is probably the first passive ability you'll unlock in the game. It costs 400 coins, and basically it can work anywhere in the game, whether it's in the duels lobby or any other area out of the game or in the game. Basically what the ability does is it lets you jump 4 times. As you can see, you do your regular double jump and then jump another 2 times. This ability is pretty good, also skill based kind of like Thunder Jump, but it's more like an evolution of Super Jump. Super Jump has a short cooldown, but this actually has no cooldown as long as you're jumping. When you're a pro player and you know how to curve very well, especially on PC, curving is better when you're jumping, so if you go higher, it can confuse players more, especially if you curve it upwards. Quad Jump is probably not the best ability, and Super Jump is probably better since it's cheaper, and also it jumps much higher. But Quad Jump at least doesn't have cooldown, but Super Jump's cooldown is so low that you don't even have to worry about it anyway. So I'd still say Super Jump is a better alternative. The best way to use this ability is basically while you're just doing a regular double jump, just jump 4 times if you can jump in the air while curving it, as you can see I just did there. And then after that you can maybe clash with a player if you want while jumping above them, which will confuse them a little bit more. Quad Jump is probably, I'd say it's a mid ability, but it's not bad. I'd say maybe like a 6 out of 10. Now, the next ability here we got is Quasar, which is from a Galactic Battle Pass older in the game. And basically this ability, it blinds the other player and turns their screen, it turns them around and then it blinds the player, making their screen blackish, and you can only see the outline of the other players and the ball. However, the bot obviously can detect the ball no matter what, so Quasar is basically useless in this challenge against the bot using Quasar. Quasar is very good, especially if like a player turns their back around, or if their player is like, you curve the ball back, you Quasar them so they can't see, and then they think, well, they know the regular timing, but if you curve it back, it messes up their timing, and they can't see the ball, and when they turn around, it's too late, and they're ready to use their block cooldown. So basically, Quasar is best for doing that. I'd say Quasar is medium mid ability again. It's not like mid, it's actually better than a lot of the abilities in the game, but it's definitely not the best again. Now here we have Dragon Spirit, which used to be super used against Absolute Confidence players. Basically, Absolute Confidence puts a yellow chain or pink chain, depending on what level you have it, and makes the ball only be able to target you, and it makes you walk faster, and when you hit the ball, it makes it stronger. However, as soon as an Absolute Confidence player would hit the ball, someone would Dragon Spirit them, so then the ball goes immediately back to the Absolute Confidence player, almost always eliminating them. The best way to use Dragon Spirit, as you can see, is while the bot hits the player, hits the ball, not hits the player. When it hits the ball, you can immediately Dragon Spirit it, so it goes immediately back without the worry of hitting it. So as you can see, I just right click here, and then it just immediately launches it back to it, which can confuse the bot's timing even. And see, this one takes a little bit of time. You have to kind of curve it around for the bot to make it a little bit more slowed down, so you can know when to use the Dragon Spirit, so you don't hit it back to yourself by accident. And as you can see, this one takes a little bit of time, and I'll get back when it's over. Okay, so next here we have Freeze. So basically this ability freezes the ball for 5 seconds, and you can parry it anytime while waiting for that in the meantime. It's supposed to hide whoever the ball is targeting to, but sometimes it glitches and you can still see who's highlighted, so you know who the ball is going to. As you can see, I just wait and then hit the ball to the bot. This one, for some reason it doesn't freeze when the ball is going too quick, which I think is a bug, but when I was recording this, that's why it took 3 attempts and not 1. Next here we have Blink. So basically what this ability was, as I talked about before, it charges up to 3 times, and it basically makes you teleport immediately, kind of similar to Thunder Dash, but not exactly. Basically this ability, just for a second, you basically just teleport to a distance around your location. This ability is maybe as good, or maybe slightly worse or slightly better than Thunder Dash, but I think it is more, yeah, it is more, so I'd still say Thunder Dash is the better alternative if you're new to the game, but Blink is still not a bad ability, and it's still pretty good. I just don't know why we have Blink and Thunder Dash, because they're both very similar. The only better thing about Blink is how it immediately teleports, and also you can charge up for free, so if you just don't want to use any teleports during the middle of the round and you save all 3 for a standoff or a part with bunkers, you could. So this is the Next here we got Shadow Step. So basically Shadow Step is very similar to Phase Bypass, but instead of making you at like a godlike speed, it puts you at like a normal speed. However, the main difference between Shadow Step and Phase Bypass is Phase Bypass when it's over when you're dashing, it teleports you back to where you first started using the ability. However, Shadow Step, it does not teleport you back to where you used the ability, so wherever you end using the ability, it will actually just be there and won't teleport you. Next here we got Wind Cloak. So Wind Cloak is kind of like a buff ability. It has a really long cooldown, but it also lasts for a while. This ability kind of just boosts your walk speed a little bit, boosts your jumping, boosts your double jump, adds some effects to you, makes your walk speed a little bit faster, makes your parry strength a little bit faster, makes your parry strength a little bit farther, your range and everything. So basically it just kind of buffs you and basically puts like some green aura around you that just gives you a little bit more of everything in the game and makes you a little bit stronger. This ability is actually pretty good, but I actually feel like it's one of the least used abilities in the game, because when I first started playing Blade Ball, I actually didn't even know Wind Cloak was a thing. Next here we got Dribble. So Dribble is one of the most OP abilities in the game. As you can see, you can bounce it back up to 2 times or 3 times if you have the upgraded version. Now the thing about this is this actually took a lot of attempts since I don't actually have Dribble and not in the non-trading servers, so I actually don't know how to use Dribble that well, and that's why it took me 21 attempts, which is the most so far. Now, as you can see, basically this ability is very good, and wherever you look at, you can dribble it up or do it down. They did nerf it a little bit and made the red not as obvious, but you can kind of trick the player by making them misclick and then launching it at them, because sometimes when you dribble it in the real game, it'll turn red on someone else's screen, so then they'll block, and then when you really hit it to them, then they'll die because they don't expect it to be the dribble to happen. So dribble is actually one of the most OP abilities in the game, but it's also risky because while you're dribbling the ball, there's a chance that you miss it and you die. But if you do successfully do it and you actually know the timing of the dribble pretty well, then it's actually probably one of the best abilities in the game. This one is a little bit unfair and a little bit OP, but it's also very skill-based for the user itself too. As you can see, you can dribble it backwards, dribble it to the side, dribble it forward, dribble it up. You can dribble it any direction you want to, even diagonally, and it won't curve it directly back to you, and it'll actually go straight, unlike the regular curving of the homing ball. Next ability we got is Encrypted Clone. Now about Encrypted Clone, I actually feel like this ability is actually pretty bad in the game because it's like a bad version of Doppelganger. Basically it makes a clone of yourself that has this glitchy slash effect, but the bad thing about the Encrypted Clone is that actually when it hits the ball to you, it can actually kill you and it can mess up your timing too when it disappears, so it's actually not that good. Basically how you use it is basically you just hit it to your clone and then hit it to the real player to confuse them. Next here we got Doppelganger right after it. Doppelganger is basically the much better version of Encrypted Clone, and also similar to invisibility. Now while your Doppelganger is out, you cannot hit the ball and you are invisible, but the ball can also not get to you. However, your Doppelganger can hit the ball a few times for you, automatically hitting it, and when it runs out of hits, the ball will come back to you and then you can immediately hit it back. This also makes it so you can sneak behind the player while the Doppelganger is out, and then you see I'm on the other side, which can confuse the player's camera, and they'll be like, oh, why did the Doppelganger disappear? What's the worst thing about this ability is that when someone pulls out the Doppelganger, they could just teleport behind you as soon as they're done hitting the ball to you, and then they'll be right behind you and clash with you. You'll die probably. Here we got Swap. So basically Swap was, in my opinion, a very mid ability and it was very underlooked when it first came out. However, well, it was always in the game, I'm pretty sure, but the thing about Swap is that it's actually pretty OP. Basically, as soon as you hit the ball to someone, you can basically hit it and then immediately swap with them, so when the ball targets them, they'll be immediately in the place of the ball and basically can't survive it if you do it correctly in the perfect timing. Now, this ability actually became very annoying, and at first it became like, oh, it's a mid ability, all it does is move where you are, to becoming one of the most OP and annoying abilities in the game, especially only costing, I think, 2,000 or 1,500 coins. This ability is very, very, very annoying. It actually might even only cost 1,000, no, it costs 1,250 coins if I'm correct. This ability is really, really, really annoying, and it has a pretty short cooldown. So, how did I beat the impossible bot in 22 slashes? As you can see, that's basically what you do, and if the bot was right there, it basically immediately teleports them to where the ball is, and you can kill them very easily. Next here we got Force Field. This ability is very OP against the bot, and basically it just automatically deflects the ball for you while you're using it, and basically you just stand on the bot, and there's nothing you can do because the ball is too close to the bot. Basically, that only had to use force slashes and one attempt. Next here we got Tack. So Tack might actually is the most skilled ability in the game. Basically what Tack does is if you curve the ball a lot, Tack basically just boosts your curving strength. So basically if you curve it to the side, it'll curve it a little bit more. If you curve it up, it'll curve it a little bit higher, curve it back, a little more back, and it basically just improves your curving a lot. And curving it easier makes it easier for mobile users to curve and improves your curving and curving strength no matter what, which is really OP. But if someone has Infinity, obviously this is not going to be useful at all. Next here we got Bounty, one of the most OP free-to-play abilities in the game. Basically what Bounty does, it lets you mark a player with a skull to mark them as your bounty. For the second upgrade, it lets you get extra coins from when you kill someone with your bounty, and it basically improves your strength against the player that has the bounty on them by 35% when you hit its bounty. It used to be 50, but this was nerfed because it was way too OP, and it still is too OP. You can also, for the top upgrade, like I said, you get the cash out ability, which lets you get more money for killing your bounties, and you can put 2 bounties at once. As you see, the bot even dies the bounty pretty easily with only 20 slashes. Next here we got the ability called Raging Deflect. So here we got Raging Deflection, which used to be seen as one of the better abilities of the game, but I actually see it as pretty mid since we have Rapture and Aerodynamic Slash, which is a pretty new ability actually. So basically all Raging Deflect does is charge up a little bit of power, and then it charges and hits the ball a little bit stronger than a normal parry. This ability's pretty mid nowadays since it's a lot of coins, and especially that bounty just keeps making it stronger no matter what instead of one slash with a pretty long cooldown. So Raging Deflect is now pretty mid, and Calming Deflect is better. Surprisingly, since you would think that something that makes the ball goes faster would be harder than something that makes the ball slower, but Calming Deflect can actually mess up the timing since they're both blue, and it's kind of hard to tell the difference between the two deflections. The next ability here we have is Luck. So basically what Luck does is it makes it so there's a less of a chance that the ball comes to you. This is useless in the training mode, so instead I made a different challenge for myself, and basically I'm going to beat 2 impossible bosses, not bosses, bots, in one attempt without dying. This is a little bit hard to do. The bots, I surprisingly did it first try, but basically it makes it so there's a 50% chance that the ball won't go to you. However, the bots always hit the ball to me, so the luck is kind of useless. So instead I made it so I have to hit too. Next here we got Flash Counter. So when Flash Counter first came out, it was actually one of the most used abilities that I used, and I thought it was pretty OP. Basically what this ability does is when you use it, it basically teleports you to the other player, locking them into kind of like a cage, and while you're using it, they also can't use their ability and they're kind of stuck, and you can clash with them also. It also, when you use the ability, it also makes the parry a little bit stronger, and they also can't move the player for a little bit. Basically, here's what the ability looks like. As you can see here, basically when I use it, it just charges it into purple and teleports the other player, trapping them into a little bit, and then you can clash with them or whatever, and then it will beat them easily. Now, the next ability we got is, let's see, so the next one is Telekinesis, no, Reaper. So Reaper took 26 attempts only because I was trying to beat all 5, I was trying to beat at least 6 bots so then I could get level 5 Reaper. This one took way too many attempts, so I had to use auto-click on some of them. Well, the thing is, even with the auto-click, I lost so many times, so this is actually a very hard challenge to beat 5 bots, even with the auto-clicker, to get the top level Reaper. Basically, what Reaper does is every time you kill another player in a round, your speed goes up and your parry strength. This ability is actually pretty OP, to be honest, but it's definitely actually one of the best abilities in the game, even for being a free-to-play ability with only 3,000 points. It's actually really, really, really good. Even many players use it to this day. Next ability here we got is Calming Deflection. This is basically, doesn't need much explanation, but it's basically the opposite of Rage and Deflection and just slows down the ball. However, this is surprisingly better than Rage and Deflection because if the ball's going really quick or you're in a clash or something, and then, you know, the other player expects to keep spamming, and then when you slow it down, all of a sudden their spamming messes up their block cooldown, and then when you slow it down, they can't get their block cooldown back in time still, and then they die. Therefore, Calming Deflection is actually a very hard ability to get though, since you have to upgrade your clan a lot. But it's not nearly as hard to get as Quantum or Reno. However, sometimes when the ball goes too fast, for some reason the Calming Deflection will not hit the ball for some reason. Also, for some reason in this recording, my ability all of a sudden just turned to dash, which I don't understand why it did, and as you can see, even when I use it, it was dash, which I was really confused for a second. So, I mean, I don't know how that happens, but I guess it's a bug with the training mode, and nothing to do with the Calming Deflection itself though. So next here we got Pull, which basically this ability just pulls the ball to you. It has a really long cooldown, but it's pretty OP as you can see if you just basically have the ball going to you, and as soon as it's about to go to the bot, you can just pull it back immediately back to you, and then it will mess up the bot's timing, messing up their parry timing and their parry speed, which will probably kill them unless they have something to parry it like Rage and Deflect or Infinity or Flash Counter or any other abilities like that to stop the ball or have an alternate deflection. Next here we got Telekinesis, which I actually saw as the best ability in the game when I first started playing, but as you can see there's a lot better abilities than Telekinesis now, and it's actually very easy to parry. Now basically this ability basically just changes the whoever the ball is going to with a short little bit of a movement, and then it just basically charges up the ball and then changes its opponent, launching it a little bit faster, increasing the ball speed at a random player. If the ball is already targeting you during the standoff, then the Telekinesis will actually just change it to the other player, but if the ball is targeting the other player, then the Telekinesis will actually charge it yourself, so make sure when you're using it the ball is red and not white during the standoff. The next ability here we got is Death Slash, which came out in winter 2023 last year. Now this ability, is called Death Slash, so you would think it would be pretty OP and probably kill the bot one hit, but actually Death Slash is pretty mediocre. Basically what this ability does is it takes the ball and locks it in, and basically you play a little bit of a timing minigame while the ball's in place, and basically if you get it directly in the middle, the higher you do, the more it'll curve and the more strong the parry will be. However, this ability can glitch, and sometimes when the ball is going quick and you use the Death Slash ability, it won't lock it in, for some reason just kill you, and not even allowing you to parry the ball. The next ability here we got is Titan Blade. Basically, this ability just increases your sword size, which turns it into a giant yellow sword, increases your parry strength and your parry speed. Now, basically, this ability is pretty good. Now, here's the halfway point of this video, and if you made it to this part, thank you so much. Now, for all, if you made it to this point, please like and subscribe to support the channel even more so we can get to that 10,000 sub special even quicker, and maybe even by 5 years or so, I can even get a play button, which would be my dream. Now, I'm hoping to get maybe 5,000 subs by the end of this year, or maybe 10,000 if we try hard enough, but I think 5,000 is, a reasonable estimate. As you can see, I'm actually fighting as, I made this area, so as soon as I'm telling you to like and subscribe, please do so I can actually survive and fight this bot off using the Titan Blade. So that's really it. Thank you for watching up to the 35-minute point. Okay, let's continue. So next here's the Hell Hook ability. Basically, this ability pulls the player or the bot close to you, and then after that, it stuns them for a little bit for the top upgrade and shuts down their ability while they're stunned. As you can see, I pull them close, and then you can basically move the bot around since the bot doesn't move for this. And this only took one attempt since Hell Hook's a pretty good ability to pull players to you, and then after you pull them, you can just clash with them and automatically beat them if you're good at the game and you're really good at clashing. Now, basically, as you can see here, if I want to clash him right now, I just Hell Hook him and start clashing. It's a pretty good ability, and it's only 7,500 coins. It's actually one of the first abilities I made a video on when I started first making Blade Ball YouTube videos. Next here we got Phantom, which was the first Battle Pass pay-to-win ability. This ability isn't actually that good, to be honest. Basically what it does is it automatically parries the ball when it's red towards you if you use it during that time, and then it teleports you to the other player, teleporting behind them, making them slower, and weaker and like that, and then you can clash with them or whatever you want to do with them after that, and there you go, bait the bot 4 times. Okay, so the next ability we got is Pulse. So basically Pulse is going to be useless because basically all it does is shut off the bot's ability. So instead of using it for shutting off the ability, I'm going to just be using it, make it a separate challenge, and then the challenge this time is I'm going to beat the bot while it's moving, since Pulse doesn't really do anything. As you can see, it just makes a wave and shuts down the abilities for like 10 seconds or so of everyone in the radius. It used to shut off everybody in the game's ability, but it would be unfair if 2 people had Pulse and they could just shut off anyone's ability. This is also a good way to counter against Infinity users, as you can just turn off their Infinity and the ball will hit them if they're pulling it to you. However, overall, Pulse is like a medium ability. Doesn't really give you an ability, but it kind of attacks other people's abilities. Kind of like a super counter against other abilities, but against Pull it wouldn't really do anything unless you have it on when they use Pull. So overall, there's definitely better counter abilities, but this one basically, if you want to play a no ability round by all the people around you, then just shut off their abilities using Pulse. This bot won't die while floating. Okay, it died. So, as you say, I baited a Pulse. This only took 2 attempts because it's not that hard to beat a bot. I mean, it's hard if you're like, but I've been playing the game for a year, so I have a lot of experience now. Next here we got Aerodynamic Slash, which is one of the newest abilities to the game as the time of making this video. Aerodynamic Slash basically puts the ball into a tornado and then, you know, launches it at the player or the bot, whatever you target it at. This ability is very OP, and it's like a better version of Rapture or whatever, since it has a short cooldown, and it also curves the ball a little bit, and you can kind of glitch it to curve around horizontally if you want as well. Now, this ability is a little bit more expensive than most of the abilities, but it's not super expensive still. It's only like 7,000, I'm pretty sure, so it's still cheaper than Hell Hook and whatever, but overall, this ability is really good. I mean, it won't work against like super pro players that are a little bit more patient, and that's how you basically survive it, just patience. However, it is really good if you just started the game, and it's probably one of the best abilities to invest in when you start playing, instead of going for something like Telekinesis. But if you really can't wait for 7,000 coins, I'd go for Reaper, because Reaper is also really good. Now, let me just continue beating this bot with Aerodynamic Slash, and I'll be back when the next ability comes. So the next ability we got here is Singularity. So basically this, basically what it does is even when the ball is white or not targeting you, you can suck up the ball, spin in a circle like this, and launch the ball at the other random opponent super fast, and basically almost impossible to deflect, so you basically kind of have to randomly click, unless you have really, really fast react time. Surprisingly, I actually beat this in 1 attempt, since I kind of had to guess when it would launch at the bot too, and then the bot would hit it back to me. And Singularity is actually one of the super pay-to-win rare abilities that I actually have in the real game, and I was super lucky to get. As you can see here, when I suck up the ball, spins it around, and then launches it at the bot. Oh my god, I actually parried that. And as you see, it's pretty OP, but it's not good against people using Affinity and other abilities like that. So overall, I'd rate it like, you know, an 8.5 out of 10. Not perfect, but... Next here we have Scopophobia. Now, this ability I kind of see as useless. So basically what it does is it makes it so I think anyone in that radius moves slower or can't move at all. And it's kind of mid, to be honest. And I tried doing it on the bot to make it not be able to move, but for some reason the bot could still move. So, I don't know. I feel like Scopophobia is kind of useless. Scopophobia means if you're being scared at the actual word means, but as you can see, Scopophobia here isn't helping me anyway, so I don't really know what the point of using this ability is. Even Platform is better, because at least it launches the bot. Next here we got Martyrdom, and since I said this video is going to be beating the bot using every ability, well, to use Martyrdom, you have to die. So here I go. Yep, I used it. Let's count that. Okay, so next here we got Continuity 0, which I used to call Continuity 0 when I used to play, but it's Continuity 0. So basically this ability, you can place down a portal, and then if you use it again after you place down the portal, the ball will teleport to wherever you place that portal. As you can see, let me wait. I'm going to teleport it in a second. Okay. Just give me a sec. Okay. Heard it. Okay. I'm going to teleport it when it gets a little bit faster to hopefully surprise the bot, because that would be a good idea. The bot probably will deflect it, but I'll still do it when that happens. I'll wait. I'm waiting for it to be white, and then I have an opportunity to do it, so then it won't target me. So let's take a sec. Okay, white. Okay. Just go. I don't know. I don't really know what I was doing at the time of recording this. I feel like I should have teleported it by now, but no, I just kept parrying it. There we go. He still parried it. Okay. So, basically I'm just gonna keep going, parrying this. This ability kinda has a long cooldown, and it was gotten from some old battle passes and old ability training, and a wheel at first for New Year's. They had a few ways to get this ability throughout the years. This bot really won't die. Okay, just a little bit more curving and a little bit more slashing. It should die soon. 80 slashes. It'll probably die around 90, 91, 92. Probably around 95. 92, okay. Then, to kill myself quicker, also I can, so you eliminate so I can go to the next round, I'm just gonna teleport the ball to me, so it, you can do that too if you wanna, do it while it's red. Next here we got Absolute Confidence, which is the Dragon Spirit user's least favorite ability. Basically, this increases your parry, strength, and it also makes the ball only be able to target to you, while adding a chain to connect the ball so you can just keep slicing it, while everyone who hits the ball automatically goes to you. Absolute Confidence is pretty good, to be honest, and it's good for farming events that are like duos for how many eliminations you can get in a certain time period. Next here we got Chieftain's Totem. Basically what this ability does, it lets you walk a little bit faster, it creates an aura around you that boosts other people in your aura, makes you walk a little bit faster, and then also makes a fire trail behind you that slows down other players. This aura does, this ability, not aura, does many things, so it's pretty interesting, but it does make an aura around you as well. Next here we got Chi Charge, which you can charge your aura around you, which increases your strength the more you charge it. As you can see here, this is my little charge bar, and there's different ranks that make your parry stronger. Turns from a white to a bluish to a whitish red into a dark red, which can launch the ball harder. And as you see here, you can also, for the top upgrade, you can move while charging, but it's slower than normal walking. However, as you can see here, I'm just going to keep slashing while charging so I can get some stronger parries in as well. Next here we got Bunny Leap, which was another kind of pay-to-win ability. It was created during the Easter 2024, and you can also get it obtainable now in the new spins right now. Basically what you can do is you can carry the ball with you while holding it and then smash it to the ground. You can hold it for a little bit longer in the air and then launch it at a random player. Now basically this ability has a pretty medium cooldown, and it's actually pretty good. It's definitely not the best ability in the game, especially against Infinity users, but it is pretty good, and if you just tap it, it actually does surprise other players and launches it pretty quickly. Next here we got Freeze Trap, which is probably one of the least used abilities in the game. Basically what you can do here is place down a little bit of a bomb in the floor basically, And then once you place that, the little trap, basically what happens is as soon as the opponent steps on it, it basically freezes them, shuts off their ability, and makes it so they can't move for that little time bit. As you can see here, once they step on it, it sprays a little bit of an icy mist on them with some snowflakes and freezes them with a trap, making them not be able to move and shut off their ability. This ability is really not that good, especially for standoff though, unless you're clashing with someone, but overall, it's a pretty bad ability. Next here we got Blade Trap. This is another mediocre ability. Basically what this ability does is you can lay down a little trap on the floor. These little like ninja star looking things will hold the ball and then basically launch it at the other player or bot or whatever. I'm fighting against a possible bot, but for a regular player, launch it, a random player, whatever. However, the other player can already see that it's going to launch to them, and it's not random unlike Singularity, where they do not know who it's going to launch to. Now, as you can see here, even when the ball is quicker, if you're fast enough and if it works, sometimes it doesn't, so that's why it took 2 attempts. As you can see, it holds it up and then launches it at the bot. Next here we got Waypoint, which came out when Infinity first came out, but basically what Waypoint can do is you can place down a sword marker and then teleport it back to it later. The cooldown for this ability is very short, and basically the best way you can use it is basically just teleport, maybe, clash with someone and then teleport further away, but if your Waypoint was all the way in the back, like away from where you're clashing with the opponent, and then they can mess up their timing. Basically, that's really it for the ability. It used to be given through like a spin with Infinity back then, but now it's in the clan for level 5. If you have a level 5 clan, you can buy it for crowns. Now, next here we got Rapture, which is an ability you can get in the wheel. Basically, this ability is pretty mid, but you'll see a lot of people that are lucky on the first spin and get it. Basically, what it does is it charges your Sword of Fire and just spins it, curves it up a little bit, adding a lot of strength to your parry. This ability is really not that good because of its long cooldown, and most people now can actually parry Rapture. It used to be much better, but now most people are used to it, especially that many people have it now. And Aerodynamic Slash is definitely a better alternative. Next here we got Infinity, one of the most hated but also one of the best abilities in the game. Basically what this ability does is it lets you manifest the aura that holds the ball in place, and you can basically just not die from this. It's like time hold, but you can't die, and you can just hold the ball, chase people with it, and then, launch at them. It's really good. Next here we got Force. So basically this ability is more of a troll ability, but it can be used in some ways. For example, if a player is standing near you, and then while they're trying to hit the ball, they think it's close, and then you push them a little bit away, it can mess up their hit. For some reason, the bot does not get launched by Force, unlike a regular player would, but this ability is not really good for ranked or anything. It's more just of if you want to troll people and just push people and launch people around the map. You can get it from not playing the game for a while, but sadly, I still haven't got it in the real game because I mean, in like out of training mode, this is the real game. But the thing is, I still didn't get it because it's because I play Blade Ball a lot, and that's why I haven't got it. Also, it used to be an old ability training event, but also I missed it during that time too. Next here we got Slashes of Duality. So basically this ability has 3 different slashes. There's a light one that launches the ball a little bit faster, but then slows it down once you hit it back to you. A dark slash that keeps it fast to you, but makes it invisible to the other player. And then a dual one that does a little bit of both, but the dual one needs to upgrade. This ability is kind of random and kind of weird, but it's kind of good at the same time. At the same time, it's kind of bad since you have to kind of click your option while you're in the middle of the game. But overall, it's not a bad ability, but as you can see, it's a little bit hard to parry the dark one when you use it and they hit it back, so I'd say it's a mid ability. The best option is probably dark or light, but the thing is, or duo, probably dark is probably the worst because it launches it back fast to you, especially for the bot. I'm just trying all the modes to show you guys in the video. Next here, we got the dual slash, which, like I said, it does a little bit of both. It does a little bit of the invisibility, but it also makes it a little bit quicker. Here we go. And basically this ability, that's basically all it does. There's 3 different slashes, and you can just use them and it launches at a random player. It can be pretty annoying though if you're dealing with a lot of these players at once. Next here we got Slashes of Fury, which is like a better version of Infinity, but it's also kind of random. It ends at 35 slashes, and you can kind of just charge up how many times you want to hit it. So basically it holds the ball in place of a red lightning, and then you can just keep slashing the ball to make it go faster and faster, and then launching after 35 slashes. Now, as you can see, when I use it again, I have to be careful to stop it at 35 slashes because that's what it ends. And if you also don't keep clicking repetitively, it will also let go earlier. Gotta be careful. So this ability is pretty good. It was given in the last battle pass in the game. You could get it in. So basically, what this ability does is it hires 2 bodyguards for you. So let me get them out. Serpent Shadow Clone hires these 2 people, and you can basically drink some water or take a snack or something, take a little break while these 2 guys fight for you. As you can see, just stand still. They have their own sword, a little bit of a slash effect. They even have their own explosion when they die. However, there is one OP thing you can do with them, which is basically turn them into a guaranteed clash winner. As you can see, since the ball always goes to them. Hold on, let me get it on the right angle. So let me wait for this guy to die. So as you can see here, they will run out after they die, or you know, they run out after a little bit of a cooldown too, even if both of them don't die. So as you can see here, if I hire them right here and make them up here, I can actually make them automatically win for me by making them clash. So I'm gonna hire them real quick. So one died. Okay, so here's the second one right here. I'm gonna get him really close to the guy, and there, you see, he just beats him like that, and it actually even ends it and says I win, unlike the other abilities. Now here we got the final ability in the game, one of the hardest abilities to get in the game, and basically this ability, once you get 1 kill, and then you can now turn on the Quantum Arena. Basically this ability makes it so you can Thunder Dash basically infinite times, and also freezes enemies like the Freeze Trap. This ability also makes the world look super cool, but it's definitely not one of the best abilities in the game for how hard it is to unlock. But it is pretty cool, I'd admit that. But it's definitely not something you would be able to get in the real game unless you have a super high level clan, since you need a level 6 and everything to be super highly upgraded. I think everything has to be level 6 and one thing level 5, or everything level 7, one thing level 6. It's really hard to get. So basically after all of that, that is all the abilities against all of the possible bots in the game. Now, for the final thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be getting 1,000 slashes for all 1,000 of my first 1,000 subscribers to represent each one of them using autoclick against all the bots. And I'll be back after we reach 1,000. Okay, we're getting close. 885, 890, 900, 910, 920, 930, 940, 950. Okay, that bot is dead. This should be the last bot. 950, 4. Okay, let's get to 960 real quick. Let's just be a little bit slow with it. Okay, let's use Affinity. Here we go. 960, 970, 980, 990, and 1,000. There we go. So, don't worry guys, I know this is only 1,000, but I also respect all 2,600 of you as I was making this video. 2,684, as I believe, when I made this video. And I thank all of you guys for all the support so far, and I really hope we can get 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, but real quick, we have the giveaway winner. So, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and now I'm going to be announcing the giveaway winner using this comment picker. So basically, to enter the giveaway, you must comment your username with your comment in my last video. And here's the wheel. Why glitch? Okay, here we go. And the winner is Huming Gao. So Huming Gao, you said please give me their Arachne dual blade and your username master11661161. Okay, got that copied, and let's go back to the regular game. Also, so thank you for watching this video, and now I'll be giving away the sword. Listen to what that guy said with the chat next to me. One of my Discord mods, well, used to be Discord mod by the time of this video, and now let me gift it. Master11631. Dual Arachne blade, 1,299 Robux. Now, I hope you enjoy your dual Arachne blade, and see you next time, guys. Oh, wait, let me just show you the proof that I gifted it to you. Here you go. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.